Hello and welcome back to Hot Take here on No Bullshit, where we review the latest movies and give you our hot take on them. Today's topic is Bohemian Rhapsody, starring Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury in this biopic about the band Queen, one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Now this movie has a lot to live up to. There's been some great rock and roll and music-based biopics over the years, and what we're going to answer today is, does this movie hold up and will it be getting the Oscar buzz that it seems to be going for? We're going to talk about that today and more here on Hot Take. In short, this movie is really good. It's definitely awesome, a fun time, and a good, interesting story, especially if you like the band Queen. If you like rock and roll music, if you like 70s, if you like Freddie Mercury, any of that cool stuff, you're gonna enjoy this for sure. With that said, this certainly isn't the type of award-winning, classic, Oscar bait kind of movie either, but I actually think that's a good thing. I'm not too big a fan of those over-the-top, overly dramatic, Oscar bait kind of movies, and Bohemian Rhapsody kind of might go there a little bit, but it keeps everything fun and interesting throughout, so it really doesn't get too over the top. This is a more fun, crowd pleaser type of movie. It doesn't get too deep into the specifics of Freddie Mercury either, which I know that's angered a lot of fans and a lot of reviewers, but I think overall, if you appreciate this movie for what it is, it does a good job. The music's cool, the story's great, and it touches upon other parts of the band too. It's not all about Freddie Mercury after all. That brings me to the story summary for this movie. The story summary for Bohemian Rhapsody basically goes like this. It starts off in the early 70s and we see these guys playing in different bands at a college campus. Rami Malek playing Freddie Mercury, he's a big fan of this other band called Smile, which has the other three original Queen members in it. In the very beginning, they lose their singer and Freddie Mercury jumps in and wants to sing for them. At first they laugh at him and they notice he has some pretty silly looking teeth, but then he sings for them on the spot, and then basically, Queen was born. We follow the band around for all the 70s and all the way up until the 80s, and we see them record music, we see them have fights, we see them have love interest, big concerts, all that cool stuff is in this movie. And it basically leads up, and this is from the trailer, it leads up to a climax where, if you do know the story about Queen, there is a tragic end to it. I mean, Queen is still around, but Freddie Mercury died in 1991 from complications due to AIDS. So he caught AIDS, and he kind of was like this secret closeted gay man for part of his life, but then later on he started coming out and he had a gay lover for the later years of his life. So that's not all too much in the movie, but it's definitely there, mixed in with some partying, some sex, some rock and roll, and more focus on the music. I think a lot of people were expecting that overly dramatic, drama-filled stuff like you would see in a Walk the Line movie, the Johnny Cash movie, or Ray, which both won lots of Oscars, but Bohemian Rhapsody kind of strays away from the overly dramatic stuff. It did have a little bit in the beginning that had me worried. There was a few scenes where Freddie Mercury's talking to his dad and he's just like overly dramatic, like teen kid. He's like, I'm gonna be better than you, dad. I'm gonna be bigger than this family. And it kind of threw me off. It had me worried in the beginning, but that stuff kind of died off and the rest of the movie picked up and made up for it. But a few of those lines did remind me of that parody Walk Hard starring John C. Reilly. Definitely recommend that movie because it parodies a lot of these biopic movies like the ones I mentioned before, and then now that I watch something like Bohemian Rhapsody, I see some of the same jokes, but overall it's not too cheesy, just a few moments here or there. Cool characters too, like one of the best parts is the cast. Obviously I mentioned Rami Malek playing Freddie Mercury. He does a fantastic job, and this is a great character for him too. I mean, this is a guy, he had a lot of energy. He's one of the best singers of all time. If you don't know much about Queen, Freddie Mercury was just this amazing character. His voice was awesome. He could hit 4 octaves, high, medium, low, everything, and him mixed with the band Queen, his band Queen, mixed with the guitar, the drums, and the cool pop style they went for, it really produced some of the best music of our time. And this movie goes over that, and it has a lot of music in it too. It starts off kind of slow and you just see some of the recordings and you see them coming up with a few songs. Oh, this is where they got the idea for this is where they got the idea for that, and then by the end, not to spoil too much, but they do play a lot of songs at the end concert scene, which is a lot of fun. It turns into like a rock concert, which was amazing for me because of course their music is great. Queen's music is some of the best. They're an excellent rock and roll band, and I think this movie did them justice. There was also a few cringy moments with the side stories. Freddie Mercury had a lot of gay lovers and there's a lot of gayness in there and almost borderline SJW stuff like LGBT rights, but Freddie Mercury himself even kind of like denies being part of that. Like he doesn't want to be like a poster boy for gay people, and also when he gets AIDS he doesn't want to be a poster boy for that. So I kind of respect unexpected shows in the movie because they don't do that too much either. A little bit of it's there's a lot of gay stuff, there's some of that age stuff, and there's some of that message, but it's just enough to have the theme to make you think, but not spoiling the rest of the show. With all that said, let's go ahead and bring out the hot take meter. I'll easily give Bohemian Rhapsody 3.5 flames out of 5. Almost a 4, but not quite there, not quite excellent or incredible, but definitely a lot of fun, above average, a really, really good movie, like more than a 3, but there were a few drawbacks, there were a few moments, a few groaner lines, a few, just cringy moments with some of the story, some of the side stuff, but besides that, good movie. Definitely anyone that likes Queen should see it. If you like these other rock biopics and music in general, go check it out. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hot Take, everyone. We'll see you next week to talk about Hollywood's latest movie.